All right, welcome back. Now you will say this girl again, yes, because she's saying a lot of gibberish, so we have to address it as the time goes. And I want you to pay attention to what she's saying because we're talking about Just Pearl now. I want you to pay attention to some of the things she's saying because beyond just telling her that she's wrong, we already know she's wrong. There's more to it, the story. She's wrong because she's regurgitating a bunch of layman's talking points, and those men are in the dating scenes. They're your husbands. Some of them are watching YouTube channel as we're talking right now. So you need to understand where they're coming from when they're saying some of these things. Okay, gentlemen, a lot of this stuff are lame talk that you need to balance out. Okay, black and white is not how the world operates. Okay, the world is not just, some things are perfectly, you're absolutely right on paper. When it comes to application in real life, it will end up in the poro raw. Do you want to end up in the poro? I bet you don't. All right, so that's what we're talking about. We're about to review this video. I'm gonna show you something real quickly. So this video, her name is Pearl. Pearl has been dragged all over the manosphere on YouTube for the past 2 or 3 weeks or so, because the laymen found out for the first time that she has a DNA of racist in her. Oh, they just found out. You didn't know that if somebody is sexist, there's a good chance they are racist too. Or if there is, if they're xenophobic, there's a good chance they're. Remember we talked about with the other lady yesterday, right? These issues are the same thing at the very core, at the DNA level. They're the same thing essentially. When you divide human beings into group and you have prejudice against one, even if it's just talking points like, oh no, I didn't mean, I just want to hold them accountable. Listen, after a while, we have to look at you like sideways, like, just accountability, that's it. That's it. If you listen long enough, they'll tell you they're divorced, or it was that chick from JSS2. They have a hard time getting over what happened to them. And the truth is that some of us, the rest of us, things happen to us too. But we kind of know that people have options. You don't have to, if some friendship did not last longer than you think, it's okay. We move, right? But the modern men are struggling with that aspect. And what makes it so hard is that they won't tell us the truth. They will just say, let's hold women accountable. Somebody said, but we need to tell those women that they should make better choices with who they're sleeping with. I'm like, okay, cool. What else? Nothing. If you do that, the society will fix. I was like, you are nyama nyama inside of your head. But let's go here. So let me play this, and then you will see what I'm talking about. Just
women will play the victims when they started it. Like, you can't hit a guy and not expect to.
She said women will play the victim and they started it. Now, here's the problem with that. Earlier, when we were talking about Mattel and them, right? One of the ladies in the chat says something about, oh, so men, I think it was Z-Love. Men can dish it, but they can't take it, right? But what did she just say?
Women will play the victims when they started it. Like, you can't hit a guy and not expect to get hit back.
All right, so women that have gone through certain experience, they say the same exact talking points about men. Men will start shit, but they can't take it. The same thing. See? 2 get 2. So there's nothing to learn in that talking point. There's nothing, like zero, anything to learn. And it's even worse that men are now starting to repeat what a woman that have gone through something will be saying, right? But men are now saying like, oh no, we need to say the same thing too. You're actively buying into equality in so many ramifications, right? It's men that will say it. So Pearl has no experience. So she just figured, you know what? I have empathy for this man. Let me help them repeat their talking point. We have a man listening to her. And he's like, tell me more. Jesus Christ, you're a woman. That's weird that you're talking like that. And she's probably surprised that, no, I'm just saying the truth. Let's keep going.
That's interesting.
I think
It's that's a clip right there. That is interesting.
we should teach the women not to hit someone stronger than them.
She said we should teach women not to hit somebody stronger than them. Okay. Most women that I know personally don't hit people. Well, I get it. It's anecdotal. We're just talking in general. Well, also, most women don't hit people. Okay. There's only a certain sector of women that will do something like that. All right. Anyway, let's keep going.
and they'll say like men are responsible for all the whores, you know. But I really think it's on the
She said women will say men are responsible for all the Olo shows.
whores for being whores.
And the men are laughing like, okay, what?
I recently decided that women shouldn't vote.
She recently decided that women shouldn't vote. If you're not triggered yet, you're running a lie. You're triggered right now. She recently decided that women should not vote. Okay, this is a long stream. I'm not going to go through all of it. These are the highlights they put in the beginning. It's a podcast called Trigonometry. Trigonometry. Okay, so if you're not triggered yet, just wait for it.
You decided women shouldn't vote.
Yeah, that's a new opinion.
Why's that?
Okay.
I'll take one for the team. Yeah.
She'll take one for the team. What team? Are you a brother? Brother Pearl? What's going on here? Jesus Christ.
Okay.
You should have the same opinions. You should be voting for the same person as your husband.
She said you must vote for, you should be voting for the same person if you are married. You should be voting for the same person. No. What she's trying to say is, as a woman, you shouldn't have your own opinion, basically, right?
Why?
It's like, I don't know. You want to be in a house where you're arguing about politics?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want.
Yeah. And they're thinking not argument, but debate. Like, we have different ideologies. We agree to disagree. And that is a strange thing to Pearl and all the Pearl disciples out there. About all 12,000, well, about 1.3 million of them. But yeah, they don't get it, right? But Pearl is mixing societal topics together with romantic relationship topics at the same time, and she still sounds stupid. Who's gonna save this girl? Jesus, but let's keep going.
Someone who thinks differently to me.
He wants to be with somebody who thinks differently to them. Is that strange? Is that a strange thing for a man to like, I don't mind being with a person that thinks differently? Well, first of all, she has to be a woman. There's a good chance that she probably thinks a little bit different from the perspective of a woman. And we have modern men that's a stranger thing to, that's the strangest thing ever to them. But of course, Pearl is gonna grow a 1.3 million subscriber base of this man and repeat their talking point and actually think she's saying something. Pay attention.
A house where you're arguing about politics?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's surprised, just like the day where she said, just shores. A house where you're arguing about politics is strange to her. She doesn't see it. She just think, a woman should just come kneel down, bring the food every time, and you just agree. She just agrees with everything you say. She says she's a freaking idiot. Why shouldn't women vote? Does she think other women are empty heads like her? Wala don't they? Jesus Christ. Wala Nigeria. Okay. So wait, this generation's need for attention and clout is pathetic. Look at this girl making a fool out of herself. I didn't say it, you said it. So we can't have our own thoughts and processes. I mean, the good news is that we have men on this screen, and there's like this mad person. Jesus, what is she talking about? Oh, I guess she's advocating for us men. And okay, all right. Both of the guys said yes. Literally said yes. Right? Let's keep going a little bit.
Yeah.
I want someone who thinks differently to me.
You had a guy called Nick Fuentes.
Oh yeah, Nick. I did not find Nick to be racist.
Of course, she doesn't find Nick to be racist. I haven't paid attention to Nick Fuentes. Well, majority of people say he's a racist. There's a good chance that he's a racist. An extremely good chance. I haven't listened. I'm not really interested, right? But what did Paul say? Paul said, I just think a little bit different. Now, she's the one thinking differently. She has no idea she's one of the most masculine women there is, if that's a thing, right? But she doesn't get it. She's trying to be feminine. She's trying to teach women to be feminine, right?
My staff actually did not find him to be Nick. I did not find Nick to be racist. My staff actually did not find him to be racist.
She said my staff did not find him to be racist. What does she mean by staff? My Nigerians, my Africans, the ones that work for me, they don't find him to be racist. If my Nigerians that work for me don't find him to be racist, it must mean he's not racist. You see how you make argument like I guess that's an argument, right?
You did say I am a bit racist.
The guy said on the show, I'm a racist. I'm a bit racist. Just because race is part of life. And this chick is still actively defending him, right? Oh, by the way, just like some few black men are on the YouTube defending her when she's clearly saying that she doesn't see a racist as a racist. You can't make this shit up. You just can't.
Even in that, and in fact, in your apology, you said that he said racist things.
She apologized. See, this is why I said people should not be rushing to apology, because a lot of time people don't know what they're apologizing for. I think apology is one of the most destructive things ever, because most people that are trying to apologize don't know what they haven't taken the time to process what they're apologizing for. They couldn't possibly tell me that they still don't resent who they're apologizing to. Yes, people sometimes they're apologizing to people that they resent.
What I'm a bit confused about is you did a whole apology, but
Okay,
it sounds
can you
like
guys
you're
stop
not.
asking me about this?
No, we're going to keep asking. Okay, not me, but no, they're going to keep asking you. Once you have a platform like that, it's dangerous. They're going to keep checking you on it. Pearl, you will be checked if you say the wrong things, if you're xenophobic, if you're racist, if you're sexist, if you're a weirdo, okay? If you can't get over that girl that dumped you in GSS2, if you can't get over your divorce, not get over like that, but go through healing, understand that it's not necessarily about somebody is right or wrong. It could just be you're not competent, your incompetency. It could just be something as simple as incompetency, right? If you're not, this internet streets, the same internet street will check you every day, because it's only so far you can go before somebody say, no, you're full of shit. People will tell you. And it seems like look at Pearl's face. She's done. She said, "Can you stop asking me?" What? Stop asking? You have 1.3 million subscribers. I'm happy for you, but you're going to be held accountable like a man.
You did a whole apology, but
Okay,
it sounds
can you
like
guys
you're
stop
not.
asking me about this?
No. This woman just a whine us. Are you whining me? Stop asking you. What you mean by that? She the whine me. Like nah. We're gonna keep asking you, and but not particularly because of Pearl, but we need to extract lessons out of this, especially for the gentleman. I can see this 3 months ago. You couldn't see it. I need you to pay attention. Okay. There's the same behavior. When I check you don't really see it because you're looking at it on paper. Like there's nothing wrong. I'm just telling the truth. But I can see that this same behavior is going to translate to the other areas of your life. If you are a militant type of person, you probably think that every issues in life should be handled like a militant. In other words, you're overreacting. You're operating from a place of anger for the most time. In other words, you lack patience to go through a process. Or more, you collect woto. There's no way around it if that's how you move in life. But anyway, I'm looking at some of this conversation. Okay, so I'm looking at the search, man. Just gonna drag to, let's see here. This one says men aren't allowed to have standards. Let's see what she's saying. She's speaking for us, so I'm actually supposed to appreciate her, but she needs to stop. She needs to stop.
So men are shamed for having standards. What do you mean by that? Let's just unpick that a little bit.
Okay, so what do we have? We have fat shaming. If a guy says, I want a girl in shape, oh, he's fat shaming. Oh, if a guy says, I don't want the town whore, then he's slut shaming. If he says...
No, he's being fat. It's because he talks too much. Just like you, Pearl. If he talks too much, listen, people have freedom. Women will tell you all the time that people have the freedom to have their preferences. You can't shame people for having preference unless they talk too much. If you have a need to get on the internet and drag fat people all the time, you will collect. That's that topic right there. But
I don't want to, it's like anytime a guy demands something out of a relationship, or he's labeled as controlling.
So it's not attracting, it's demanding it. I have a shirt. We'll try to get that shirt back on the merchandise thing, right? It says, I attract, I don't demand. Demanding is like you don't really have that power for the most part. It's okay to demand. There's certain spaces where you demand. If people are trying to take advantage of you, you demand that they do the right thing, right? But in this conversation, instead of you attracting it because you move like that guy, you're that guy, you attract respect and submissive woman. You're demanding it. You talk too much. That's the okay. See, I'm talking to the men, not Pearl, because Pearl don't understand what's going on. You talk too much. That's the issue, right? And if you talk too much, they're not going to react. Like nobody has time to figure out, like, oh, he's actually saying the right thing. You know, women are supposed to know. They're gonna be like, you talk too much. They're not even gonna tell you talk too much. They just know that they don't want to be around you. So so maybe this is why there's a disconnect. They just kind of know that they don't want to be around you. They don't know why, but want to demand.
And I just got, oh my gosh, I got so tired in the past year. I got so tired.
Nah, she's not
Because
tired.
I just feel like you can't tell me that's not madness.
Right.
And so we're just in this world where it's madness.
Wow.
7. She's like 28. It's like madness. Like you can't tell me that's not madness.
Right.
And so we're just in this world where it's like girls are doing this crazy stuff. And if anyone has anything to say about it, we're the bad guys. It's just like, don't put me in that group.
Why are you saying we? Are you a brother Pearl? But anyway, let's keep going.
Like,
Well, that makes a lot of sense because I think a lot of people, including a lot of women, would be like, you've had 7 abortions. I mean, even if you're pro-choice, you'd sort of not be on board with that, most people.
you would be surprised. You'd be surprised.
Well, you think a lot of people are on board with that?
Maybe not on board.
Let's
but,
jump
like,
to this
legally.
woman can't vote thing, right?
Yeah.
So here,
Let's get there.
This could be bullshit because
they could be, yeah. Should I be banned off of YouTube?
That's
What does that have to do with voting? It's like a false equivalence.
Let's go back. She thinks women should not vote, right? She thinks women should not vote. Let's go back.
And like, okay, we make 70.
Well, hold on.
okay.
Does that mean you shouldn't be on YouTube then? Because you're chemically different. Your opinion.
She's on YouTube because in a world that women can't vote, there's a good chance you won't be allowed on YouTube because women are supposed to shut up. I think there's a place in Colossians. There's this other chick that always pander to women too. Her name is something King. She tried to throw a Bible verse in there, and the Bible verse says women should shut up, and she's the YouTuber. And then I'm like, oh God, you corner yourself.
Nothing juju be that.
These are not the issues. These women that are pandering to women, they're not dealing with the real issues, because they have ulterior motives. Okay, I'm not that type. I always give people benefit of the doubt that maybe they just don't know any better. But I think there's ulterior motives, and it has to do with money. It has to do with money, right? Let's keep going. You corner yourself. There's a place in Colossians in the Bible that says women should not be seen. They should be quiet and something like that. And I'm like, that the Bible said that, but you want to use the same Bible to manipulate women into shutting up. You need to make sure you're completing your thoughts before you talk. Again, you talk too much. But anyway.
Opinions could be bullshit because
They could be, yeah. Should I be banned off of YouTube?
That's
What does that
what
have to do with voting?
Everything! She still doesn't get the correlation between you're on YouTube as a woman making multiple 6 figures, right? And you're saying women shouldn't be allowed to vote.
It's like a false equivalency.
Okay.
So to me, it's like, okay.
They said
I feel
okay.
like
They're
if
like,
shit
this
goes
one is
south,
mad.
Who's going to war?
He said okay.
Okay. You know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna let me
Yeah, fair.
let me start from the
And
beginning.
listings.
Let me start. Actually, I wanna start from
Mate,
how
you
I
don't
got.
want to be jumping on this fucking train. Believe me.
She found out she cornered herself. Now she's getting off her seat. Sit your butt down and listen to this quiet, subtle, soft chin check. Okay? The men you're trying to protect, these are men. They're saying, you know, honestly, I don't know who they are. I don't know if they are not men mentally, but they look like men to me. And they are looking at her like, this one is mad, oh.
I want to start with how I got this opinion.
Okay.
I
Cool,
want to
let's
start.
do
Let
it.
me. Okay,
She wants to start all over again. He's like, no, stop. Let me start all over again. Let me start.
I heard from a guy named Rollo Tomasi, genius.
Oh, not Rollo. Rollo is a retard. Rollo's book is beautiful. The Rational Male. Everything outside of that book, Rollo is a slow person. Let me be respectful to the other side. and she's about to quote Rollo.
Very, very smart.
He's a pickup artist, isn't he?
No, no.
Is he not?
Most men don't know who Rollo is. Just you, gentlemen, just in case you don't know, most men don't know who Rollo is, and rightfully so, because it's not worth it. Maybe the book is okay, but the book, nah.
Oh, no.
I don't know anything about that world.
No.
What is he?
So, no, he, a lot of the stuff in the space of YouTube, I mean, like he's just like one of the thought leaders, I would say.
Okay.
But he's not.
I'm done with that segment. Let's. I'm done. Let me see what she said about child custody law.
Out of my I should have brought my notebook. I didn't. But the issue in the UK is that men only get custody of their kids 10% of the time. Would you agree that's crazy?
Yes.
Would you agree if your kid, you should get 50-50 custody?
It depends.
Off the bat.
It depends. You dumb, you dumb and dumb skull person. It depends. Okay, first of all, men and women are not equal. A woman has breast. She's a mother. If she's competent, she will always have upper hand in terms of custody, especially if she wants the custody. Okay, your best case scenario, if her brain is correct and she's a normal person working, is 50-50. That should make sense to any normal human being. It's only lame people that think, no, it should be automatic 50-50. No, not necessarily either. It depends, like common sense, the bare minimum should tell you at least that it's also depending on the judge you have, right? Why is that such a strange thing to understand?
It depends. Well, I actually don't agree with that.
Okay, go ahead.
And I'll tell you why I don't.
Most men, Pearl, I know you're your own little echo chamber. I get it. I get it. Okay. Most men, most real men don't agree with that. Okay. Most lame men, the ones that don't know that it's okay to have been through divorce, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just life, especially if it's coming from a place of incompetence. Not incompetence in playing defense, incompetence in terms of everything else, playing offense, emotional intelligence, right? If they're not aware, they will agree with you, right? And there's enough of them to make 1.3 million subscribers, yes, okay? But most men, the rest of the 100 million in the United States, they don't agree with that. It doesn't make, you're not making sense. Maybe you should have listened a little bit more to other men outside of the stupid echo chamber to understand how real life works. Let's see if this guy will do some justice.
I don't agree with it. And this will make me very problematic because I am suggesting that men and women are different. But as
They are different. Duh.
someone who has a young child, they're way better off with their mother on average.
Under the age of 8. Over the age of 8, the kids have better outcomes with the father. Single father homes have significantly better outcomes than single
Under their
mother.
age of 8, though, they need their mother.
True.
But it's all case specific because if the mother is a psycho, then no. And if the father is abusive, then no, right?
Or has addiction issues or whatever else.
Just like if the mother has addiction issue, the judge is probably going to take those babies away from her.
I
No, that's too deep for Pearl.
personally think that it's 50-50. It's 50% his DNA. He should off the bat.
No, you're going to have to tell me that you're half a man. That's the only way I will agree with you, Pearl. I'm just going to give you a pass. That you're really a 13-year-old boy inside of a 26-year-old body. I'm not shaming you. You need to go back to school. Talk to your parents. Jesus Christ. Talk to your... according to her, she has some good parents that she can talk to. This girl...
be entitled to 50-50 custody. Now, they could talk about it based on his work schedule and then switch it, but off the bat, 50-50 custody. Would you agree?
No, you're wrong. It sounds lame. Just like the men you're pandering to.
That 10% of the time, men getting access to their children being the primary custody hold, like that's insane.
There's a lot of problems with the way that divorce is handled, etc. I mean,
That's
I
a
know
fact.
people who...
Just like every other law, there's no law that's perfect.
Someone who was married for a couple of years, they were both professional people working. Her career and income were not in any way affected. And then they divorced after a couple of years and she got a shit ton of his money for no fucking reason.
Yeah, I'll tell you about this guy that I interviewed yesterday, and it's going to tie into the voting thing.
No, I'm done. Let's go back to who should be vote.
Wouldn't the
No.
I mean, there's a lot of counter arguments to what you're saying, but wouldn't one of them be that
They don't have the patience for the argument they would have against what she has to say. It's just gonna take much longer. It's gonna take a lot of patience to argue with the Pearl. Just argue the point, Ola. What? You have no idea. Jesus Christ.
we lived in a society in which, because men were the ones that had the vote, and by the way, actually men mostly didn't have the vote for quite a long time as well. It was just rich men.
No, she didn't know that black people couldn't vote for a long time. Only rich men, status, class. No, she's not aware of that. It's just this world of everything is equally 50-50, split. Yeah.
But
I would be okay with that too.
yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
But
I just feel
They said it would be okay with all the rich people, all the people with the high class of society voting. Did you hear her say that?
the vote for quite a long time as well. It was just rich men. But
I would be okay with that too.
She'd be okay with that too. Do you understand why she can't relate with you if you're a black person? Are the dots connecting for you? It's like a book reading itself to you. That's what this is. Okay.
yeah, I can tell.
He said I could tell. Weirdy. This guy's a weirdy person. He said I could tell. I could tell that your dump scored.
Yeah.
But
I just feel like why do you get a say in something you're not paying into? Men pay into it way more than women do.
I mean, women now earn more, particularly young women, than young men.
yeah, but on average across society,
Yeah.
men pay way more
Yeah.
tax. Particularly over the course of a
Yes.
lifetime. Partly it's because women take time to have children. And I mean, that's also another argument there. Like, you can't just measure your contribution to society by the amount of tax you pay. Bringing up the next generation is a hugely valuable thing that women do. They're not paid for it necessarily.
As far as she's concerned, which is the men that she panders to, women bring no value to the society outside of the children that they create. And even that is nothing to write home about. After all you can do is create children. That's where this kind of conversations are coming. This is where they're coming from. Okay? Nothing else. No value. No. Even the same peace of mind they're asking from women is not valuable. If a woman brings you peace of mind, creates a home out of the money you're making, there's no value in that. That's all that is. Shouldn't be able to participate in decision making in society. Right? Archaic, backwards thinking, and somehow they are surprised when they get cancelled on the internet. No be juju that. Let's talk about, what do women think of Pearl?
$49 suits.
Let's see what women think about Pearl. I told you this girl is a gift that keeps giving.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get on well with women generally?
Of course not.
They love me.
Even most men are looking at her sideways. Most men that listen to her talk will look at her sideways. They see that she's advocating for us, but they're like, is this a point where let me think. I kind of like that she's on our side, but she says, is she not a woman? Does she see herself as someone who doesn't bring anything to society just because she doesn't bring anything to society? That's asking Pearl she's asking her to think too much. That's a lot of thinking. Even me, I have headache already. What do you think she's going to be like? I just think women should just be inside of the house. That's all. I'm not saying that you're not wrong, but women should be in the house and let men take over since they pay most of the taxes anyway. Yeah?
A small minority, I imagine.
No, actually, I've always had like girlfriends. So
Do you know what? I have to say, in your defense, not that I'm agreeing with this, I increasingly do see women, particularly on the right, like Jessica Vaughan, who's a friend of mine on Twitter. I just opened my Twitter, she's like, yeah, women shouldn't vote.
I just think the outcomes would be better. Like, I feel like if we took, I'm a conservative, so if we took out the
Let's jump to the
go my
racist
way
stuff.
more.
I'm not really interested in
Influencers.
it, but let's see.
Oh
you
yeah,
interviewed.
yeah, Nick.
Yeah. And then you did an interview with this guy. Like, this is not a guy we would ever have on because he's a racist, Holocaust denying piece of shit, as far as I'm concerned. But you had him on, and then you took that interview down.
She took it down, but she didn't think it was racist. She took it down, but you know, I didn't really think it's a racist. Let me just be a coconut head and tell the whole world that's been dragging me that no, he wasn't really that much of a racist. Nah, I think I overreacted to myself.
Not be juju be that.
This girl.
You think say they wise?
And apologized. So what happened with that whole thing?
I can't talk too much. There's like legal things going on.
What's legal that's going on? Are you being sued because you were the racist in the equation? But what's legal that's going on?
Yeah, there's not with Nick, but just but there's
You're filing lawsuits against people for being racist? Which one is going on here? What is going on with this chick? Is she mad?
I have a video coming out about that whole thing. So
You do?
you guys have to wait for the video.
Well,
But I will say I did not find Nick to be racist. My staff actually did not find him to be racist.
Oh, remember my Nigerian, my Africans? You remember we were dragged woto by some random strange woman yesterday calling us Nigerians that didn't have 24 hours power supply, right? Remember that? Thanks to this auntie, right? My Nigerians.
Wait, he was talking to an Italian girl next to you and saying that she shouldn't have a black boyfriend or something along
That's what he
those lines.
said.
He doesn't believe in. See, I don't really want to go into like the race mixing stuff too much.
No,
Actually, it's wiser not to go into it, but let me guess, you're going to go into it anyway. Maybe a little bit, because you have a need, an obsession with being right. Yeah, right? Let's see how that goes. Really. I didn't want to go into it, but I'll go into it.
But you just said he wasn't being racist, and I watched him be racist on your show.
Literally.
Well, I mean, to me, he says the same things that like there's a lot of people that think like that when.
But doesn't make it less racist just because other.
Just because there's a lot of people that think like that. Just because there's a lot of people that think like that.
You be mumu.
Precisely. Yeah, you can't make this up.
The people think it.
You could say that, but to me, it's like, how do I put it? His argument is more about culture. It's easier if you date someone in your culture.
Culture and race, not the same thing. I beg, help me in the chat. Is culture?
Will you keep quiet?
Is culture and race the same thing? Somebody help me in the chat. What is? Oh my God! Oh, lawsuit was filed against her. I guess it is what it is. We see through her. She's a racist, triggered by race mixing. She get you. She's very uncomfortable with this topic. I'm glad that they put her on the hot seat. It's to me, it's like a different culture. Just talk about culture. How about that, right? Even Nick admitted, like, I guess, race is a real thing. But this girl is over here defending what she doesn't know anything about.
You'd have to watch the full thing, but was like being a bit like combative to him. And to me, he was just like kidding.
Oh, the girl was being a bit combative. Of course, Pearl is always going to take our side, right? Pearl will always take our side, of course. Yeah, but what's you? You can't, you can't save them. She don't wanna be saved. Don't save her. You can't save her.
Oh my days.
But yeah,
He
you'd have to
did
watch.
say, I am a bit racist, even in that. And in fact, in your apology, you said that he said racist things.
She said that.
Well, there's a video coming out about all of that, but you'll see.
Oh, so you're going to spit. You're going to vomit and then swallow everything back into your throat. There's a video coming out so you can take back everything you said, right? Oh, what a way to go, Pearl, with in terms of your credibility, in terms of being on your square, in terms of no know what you're talking about, being able to trust you, right? What a way to go, right? There's a video coming out. Instead of you to go quiet somewhere, instead of all this collection that you're doing all over the place, instead of you go quiet somewhere and be quiet for 3 months and just focus on have other people talk. You have a huge platform. Have other people talk about it. Must you talk? You have to talk, me. Just collecting everywhere.
Sure, well, let me.
What a dumbass.
It's coming out.
Okay. Well, the reason I'm asking you is because it's kind of like a big deal that you had this guy on.
They're trying to help her. It's kind of a big deal to have a racist on a show. If you don't know what you're doing, then maybe you shouldn't. Right? You think you're wiser than me? I don't have a lot of guests on, right? You think you're wise? I can start bringing people on too, right? But once I start bringing people on, what they say becomes my responsibility. How many people remember the Tunde, the 2020 on ATB show that I brought on? I had to take responsibility because I brought them on. To a large extent, for that matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He is incredibly toxic.
I'm just telling you my personal experience with him. We filmed
we know.
hours and hours and hours
Lack
of
of.
footage with him. There was that one.
Lack thereof.
To me, if you watch the full clip, it puts it in a little bit of context.
There's nothing that they always say that watch the full clip so you can get full context. BS. Cap. Okay? There's no other context we're gonna get outside of just a few minutes we've seen. You're racist.
Stop the cap.
You are. Okay? Listen, I mean, you just heard that right there. The guy is saying, listen, I think he's a racist. You don't think he's a racist, you must be a racist. I mean, this is a very good state. At this point right here is where you say 1 + 1 must equals to 2. Yeah.
Context.
Yeah.
But he was really polite. He showed up on time. Like we just. Yeah.
He also
And honestly, he did a panel, and he spoke about his opinions on race mixing, and a lot of people agreed with him.
okay, but that doesn't change whether
She
it's
just did it
racist or not,
again.
right?
Wait.
Do you think it's racist?
She just did it again. A lot of people agree with him. A lot of people also agreed with Hitler.
Ó já mi lára jẹ.
You can't save her.
Racist to like, because I'm curious.
Yeah.
Do you think it's
Go on.
racist like if I'm Irish and I say I want to date someone that's Irish? Do you think that's racist?
No, but if I say to you, you're Irish, therefore you shouldn't date a black man, that is racist, yeah.
Another Potokboro. Another one. Listen. I ran out of sound effects. Let's keep going.
If you're Irish and because when he spoke about it on the show, it was more about culture than race.
But to me, that doesn't really work as an argument, Paul. So I'll give you an example. I'm
You
half
can't
black
save her.
American. I take after my dad's Irish side. If I date a Jamaican woman, Jamaica and Venezuela have a very similar culture. We're culturally very similar. We have the same food, the same religion, whatever else. So to me, that argument doesn't work.
Yes,
You see what
culture.
I'm
Wait,
saying?
Venezuela and what?
And Jamaica. So Venezuela's at the top of South
Slam
America,
dunk.
and Jamaica is, or Trinidad, which is literally you see it over the water.
Yeah, well, it's just when he was talking about how he wanted to date an Italian woman, like versus
A black woman.
like he even
Say
said
it,
he
say
wanted
it.
to date a British
Yeah,
girl,
daddy.
he wanted to date
Yeah,
an Italian
daddy.
woman. So it's like, how is he a white supremacist?
No,
Like, he
he's
wanted-
allowed to date who he wants,
Yeah.
but him telling your Italian friend she shouldn't be dating a black man, that's the racist part, don't you think?
I'd have to remember what he
be
said in
Mumu?
the clip, but maybe, yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm asking you, because
She said
you
maybe.
do have controversial guests, as we do, and there's nothing wrong with talking to people who are controversial.
There's nothing
but
wrong with
Nick
it.
Fuentes is a very different kettle of fish, as we say here, right?
Yeah. My opinion is that he was polite overall. He was a good guest.
He was also denying the Holocaust, from what I remember.
Look, I'm not with that. Keep me out of that one. I'm not with the race. Like, that's not my thing. But I just think people are allowed to have their opinions. So if he has crazy opinions, let him have his opinions. And I think he should.
No, Pearl, it's not my thing. I don't talk about race. I it's not a topic that I'm well versed in. Okay, I don't know too much about it. I just know like basic stuff. I know that. And I know that the black man has been oppressed, right? Yes, just do like this. Just do like this. Yes. And I know that there's a lot of trauma that comes with that. Like, yes. I know that that conversation is deeper than, like, if somebody's going to run their mouth on your show, you have to hold them accountable and make them spit fire. You see how these guys are doing to you right now? You just, See how they're not letting you get away with it? Like stupid talk? Exactly. So you know what means, right? So if you have your staff is Nigerians, right? Exactly. She don't get out. She don't get it.
Be allowed to talk about it on a podcast.
But isn't it also the duty, Pearl, of the person interviewing them to push back on those opinions when they come up and actually challenge
have to
them,
push
and
back.
investigate them, and to
Unless you're a racist.
basically push back?
Yeah, I agree with them.
Yeah, I mean, we could do another show where we push back more. It's not the end all be all.
But surely that isn't that the risk? Isn't that?
I wanted to do like one with Dr. Umar, but he didn't want to come. Sad.
Who's the guy?
I don't want to come on your show. Just like I don't want to go on a Lapiv show. Just like I don't want to go on some lame ass stupid show where all they do is dragging women. Okay? Just like I don't want to go on Reverend Peterson, that's his name, show. Okay? Why would anybody with correct head want to go on your show? They're chasing clouds? Well, some people have standards. Even if they will get some measurable amount of clout and audience and attention, it's not worth it. This was the problem that I had with what's his name, Afiz. Going on those shows trying to argue with people that have made up their mind. It's not worth it. You know? You're lucky, yes. You're lucky that Dr. Umar did not come on that piece of trash. You're lucky. Just, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, but it makes sense that he wouldn't want to come.
Umar has like the same opinions as Nick. Like, he doesn't believe in race mixing too. He's just black.
It's not race mixing. It's just black. See, it's different, dummy. If a black person is saying it than a white person, of course you can't comprehend that. That's why you should shut the hell up for life. You can't comprehend why black men can say certain things and white people cannot say those things. It's too much for your processor to process it. It's a lot. I know. Maybe it's better to just shut up.
Yeah.
That's like a common.
The guy say, yeah.
Yeah.
There are some people who believe that, sure.
Yeah.
But you know
It
what?
has nothing to do with nothing.
When you were talking about the Holocaust with him, he was saying it's like slavery, it got embellished, and you were sort of going, I can see your point.
Yep.
And that's what I found a bit confusing.
Hot seat.
Then in your apology, you said, well, I wasn't really educated on these things. But it sounds like you're kind of taking that back now.
She's taking
there's
everything
a
back.
statement coming out on everything, so you guys just have to wait for it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
From our perspective, we're kind of saying to you what...
The wisest thing she said so far, right, is that there's a statement coming out. You just have to wait for it. I think that's the wisest thing I've ever heard from Just Pearl. That is a statement coming out. Let me just shut the hell up. And you just have to wait for it. Now, if I were her, I would just say that and I still won't bring any statement out. Because when that statement come out, there's no way to fix this. But Paul, there's no way to fix it. Oh, wait, there's one way. Shut the hell up. For a long time. You can still do your shows, have other people talk on your show. Those opinions of yours, yeah, it's gonna get worse and worse. It's gonna end up in the bottom.
We thought you might have said to him, which is, if a guest says or does something controversial, you kind of want to ask and find out why they've done that. And we have to make by the way, if this is coming across as confrontational, that's not the intention at all, because whenever I see a guest not be challenged enough on someone's show, I often think there, but by the grace of God go I, because we've had people on the show who've said controversial things, and I've sort of missed.
Can you imagine a man coming on Power's show and repeating all of the manosphere talking points? Do you think she will give him smoke? I'm just wondering. It's a question. Answer me in the comments.
The moment, and I kind of didn't challenge them enough, and I felt bad about it afterwards.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, because you're not a political person, you might not. There was a guy called Darren Grimes.
That face that you're looking at, they're numb right now. That face is numb. she wish she could just disappear from that seat right now. I would like Dr. Umar to go to her show and teach her a lesson. I feel like Dr. Umar, I don't agree with a lot of his rhetorics, but I haven't really listened long enough. I'm also not a political person, so I don't know exactly what his core beliefs are, but you know, it's something about him that I feel like if I listen to him long enough, I probably would disagree with him all the way. But nonetheless, you know, it's another topic of another day. Maybe one day I'll be previewed to be able to listen a little bit longer to see where he's coming from. The last thing I've seen about him is that he collected school money and they never built the school. Those people, man. She's trying so hard to cover up but showing her ass all the way out. Of course, she wouldn't give him smoke because that's our mindset. Yeah. And you're supposed to give everyone smoke. You're not supposed to. Yeah, you're supposed to. After you listen long enough to people, you will see like, okay, so are you saying even if people can agree, people can see that you kind of align in ideologies. There's some things that you're a human being. You just have some unique things that it's okay that other people disagree with you, but if you're just repeating the same talking point all the time.
Who had a guy called Dr. David Starkey on, and he said something about how, of course,
Yes,
Oh no, not for the guests. For the content that you put out, Pearl.
yeah, I'm responsible for all the content I put out.
You are.
You're responsible for all the
It's like
content that
therapy.
you put out. And you now look at that and think you shouldn't have done that. You made a mistake. You made an error. What
I don't regret having someone controversial on. If I had to do it again, I would have maybe had someone on the opposite end of the argument that could push back. But how I probably would have did it if I had to do it again, one full interview with both of them. Let them talk, let them say what they're going to say.
No, Pearl, for the next 10 years at least, that's all you should do. Including relationship matters too, especially family and marriage matters. You have no idea what you're talking about. At all. Not 99% at all. Like completely zero, zip, nothing. Right? It's better to have, you have the platform, you have influence. I think influence is a beautiful thing if it's used properly. You're using it wrongly. Have other people on the show, have them talk. You know, ask open-ended questions, not close-ended questions, yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. No, open-ended question, let them allow them to bring out some insights. You can learn from anybody, you know that, right? But if you're always talking when you claim to have a show that has panels on them, like, Jesus, especially when you know nothing, you throw yourself under the bus every time. It's not working out well. Only 3 months later, maybe 6 months. You've blown up in the last 6 months and you're all in the pot already. Ignorance is a disease.
Bring them together.
So who would you have on the other side? So you'd have
Dr. Umar!
Yeah, but
She hasn't learned anything. The black guy. Bring the black guy to come and face the white man.
yeah, but that's not. But those are two people who share the same the same viewpoint. It's just one happens to be white, one happens to be black. That's not. That's playing. Do you see? That's kind of identity
Well,
politics.
yeah, but then we did a whole panel with people that disagreed
It's the same identity to you, dummy. She doesn't get it.
with him, so.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to call her dummy. I need to be nicer. Oh, okay. She's not a dummy. I take that back. Jesus Christ. Help me help you, Pearl, please.
We did do that.
all right.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm a bit confused about is you did a whole apology But it
Okay,
sounds
can you
like you're
stop
not.
asking me about this?
No.
Like, I said
It
I have
kinda
a-
matters.
I have a statement coming out
Yeah.
about it. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll leave it to your statement.
Yeah.
They extracted everything we needed out of her. It's okay. I think I want to let's say, what's the one thing we're not talking about? She covered quite a bit of base. That girl and something else, and more importantly, all the people that follow her loyally and want to back her in any of these talking points, they are something else. It's such a weird place to be in the history of mankind. But I think we're getting somewhere. At least we're having a conversation. She said, I don't agree with Dr. Umar, especially when he says black man is not around to marry white women. She's BS. See? Yeah, it's not realistic too. Right? He goes real hard about that. Yeah. But it's a black man. Listen, I don't know if you want to call that unfair. I don't know how you're measuring it. Are you measuring that against 400 years or invading the whole land of Africa? Which one are you measuring against? You're not allowed to say certain things if you're not a black man. A black man gets that pass. You'll be paying for this for a long time coming. I don't know what you want me to tell you, but if you can't comprehend that, then just shut up. Jesus, just shut up. Yes, they definitely held her accountable. But let me see if I can do one more, and I'll be right